back for another episode this week. I'm your host, Michael from Wikid Publishing, and I'm joined by some of our Wikid creators today. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Jeremy Lott. I'm the creator of Movie Men.
Hey, I'm Cody, creator of Jack Irons, the Steel Cowboy.
And I'm Scott, the creator of Wrath.
Very nice. Welcome, guys. I
So good to be
appreciate
here.
you joining us for the day. For some of us, it's earlier than others. Actually, I don't know. Are we all East Coasters?
West Coast. I mean, West Coasters.
I mean, West Coast.
I'm Mountain Time, so
You're kind of in between.
Yeah, no, I'm a landlocked state, no question.
Dan, what's it like being in a landlocked state?
I mean, I
Yeah,
would
bother
know
you, or is it really-
otherwise, so.
So it doesn't even really. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I trade like the ocean, let's say, for gorgeous mountains.
True.
It's not a
That is
bad
very
trade-off.
true. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I don't have to make that trade-off.
Well, aren't you?
Yeah,
lucky?
we got both.
Yeah,
That's true. We have it in California, but for me, I have to travel kind of far to get to it. At least
Yeah, I mean-
2 or 3 hours, I think. Right, Scott?
Yeah, about 2 hours I can get up to the mountains.
Yeah. Not too bad.
where I live, I'm surrounded on three sides by mountains and the other side by ocean.
Oh, geez, that's pretty intense.
Nice.
Now, some of the mountains are in Canada, but
It still counts.
yeah,
You can still see them.
Yeah. I can see Canada from my house.
My God, it's just like Sarah Palin said.
Yeah,
That is pretty funny, though. Honestly, that you can see Canada. Have you ever had the chance to make it up to Canada before?
Oh, I mean, I'm married to a Canadian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, man.
I went to college just up over the border.
Oh, wow.
At a school called Trinity Western University.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice, man. So you do have some experience in that, I would think.
Oh yeah, I've even technically worked. I mean, I don't know if it was legal, but I worked in Canada for a while.
Really?
I mean, it was on the line. I had a right as a student to work there, but I kind of took it a little far.
Overstayed your welcome, maybe just a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
in Japan.
Hopefully,
Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say, hopefully the Mounties aren't listening.
The statute of limitations on this one is long expired.
Oh, good.
All right, you're good.
In Japan, because I just did an article for Toonami Squad about Ghost in the Shell
Yeah.
and their refugee policy and stuff. And one of the things they say is if you overstay your visa, they can detain you indefinitely.
Oh yeah.
It's like, Jesus, dude, that's intense. Don't overstay your welcome. That's
Nope.
for sure. But that's cool, man. That's exciting. Is that the only country you've been to other than the U.S. then, or?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I've been all over the U.S. I mean, I've been to the majority of the states,
Mm-hmm.
and Hawaii, and I haven't been to Alaska, but I've been to a majority of the states, including Hawaii. I've been to Canada, but I haven't done any world traveling.
Huh. Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do later in life is to go around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Really cool.
I will say that there's a lot to America.
There is. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so much to it. I had a friend who needed to move out to Seattle a decade ago, right? And he had his car, and he's like, and we were in Virginia, that's where we lived, and he says, could you drive with me there? And we made it from Virginia to Seattle in 3 days.
Wow.
The one
That's
night
intense.
his parents lived in Minnesota, so we stayed at his parents' place one night. But other than that, we just drove straight through
Wow. And you said it was from where again?
from Virginia to Seattle.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
coast to coast.
Yeah,
That's it took us about 2 or 3 days to get up to Seattle from California.
Yeah.
So that says a lot,
Yeah.
right there. So you must have not been stopping much at all, huh?
no, I mean because we slept in shifts basically and
Oh, wow.
drove through. He had a Jetta TDI that had a lot of aftermarket work done on it, so it was supercharged. It had about
Nice.
let's say 75 more horses than it was supposed to,
Jeez.
and also a lot of torque, which came in handy because a VW stick does not work the same way as a normal stick does. Because on a normal stick, this is first, this is second, this is third, fourth, fifth, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you on a BMW, you pull down, that's fine. You second, but then if it's grooved, so you push up to go into third, right? But if you actually go over, like you would on a normal stick, you're in fifth.
Huh. That's bizarre.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh crap, we're not. That's not how this is supposed to work.
Jeez. I hope you don't have a manual still.
Old school Volkswagens, most people didn't know how to go into reverse because you literally had to get it in neutral, then push down on the stick, and then go down to the right and even further, which it wouldn't do unless you push down.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never driven a stick shift car before, but I was in my friend's once, and it was kind of terrifying. I'll be honest. It was like we'd get really close to cars, and then he'd slow down really fast and like shake this thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening? Jesus Christ, this is too much."
It depends on it really depends on the driver. I love stick shift myself.
Really?
It's a lot of fun. Really allows you to dig in and actually time how the the tranning's moving. Most automatics are a little too soon shifting or a little too late. And this allows you to get your timing well, and it feels more like you're involved with the movement of the vehicle.
Interesting.
Which I enjoy. If you're going faster, you should, it's fun. But I see people having problems, and man, if you get behind somebody who doesn't know how to use a stick on a hill or anything like that, then you're in trouble.
Give them some space. At one point, so we were booking. At one point, I drove 500 miles in 6 hours.
Whoa. Yikes.
That's moving.
That is definitely moving.
But I agree with Cody. Like I miss driving my stick shift.
Really?
The other thing I would add too is you're a lot more aware of how fast you're going.
Yeah.
Because the gears are controlling your speed.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned to drive on a old '69 Ford Ranger pickup, so I learned on stick.
Yes, I missed that one. But no, it's interesting. Yeah.
If you want to ever get that high-end sports car, brother, most likely it's going to be a version of standard. It might not be actually clutch operated. It might be push handle or something, like a lot of Lamborghinis and Ferraris have the little latches for up and down shift behind the steering wheel, so you can just do it with your hands.
Or Lexuses have both shifts, or you can do the paddles on the steering wheel. Yeah, my wife drove one of those through the Blue Ridge Mountain, or I think it was a Blue Ridge Mountain in
Mountains
in Tennessee, and oh my god, I thought we were gonna die.
Really? That bad, huh?
Just like she didn't feel like slowing down,
But yeah, it's really hard even in the high-end sports cars to find a true stick shift anymore. One of my attorneys is a big Audi person, and she had one of the last R8s that was a true stick shift, and she regrets having to sell it.
Yeah.
Wow. What does that mean, a true stick shift?
Like the actual stick.
You got a stick and a clutch and all of that.
That's the only one I'm aware of. What's the other?
Oh, there's a few hybrids, like I was talking about with the paddles. Usually it's a hybrid. I don't believe those usually have a clutch. So all you have to do is, if you hear your motor going, you just press your little paddle and you'll upshift or downshift. You gotta listen to it instead of having to press a gear, or press a pedal, which would lift your gears out of the tranny, and then shifting the stick, which picks which gear is going to go back in. It just does all that back end stuff for you, and you just press which gear you want to go into.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a few weird ones like that, but I haven't driven anything like that. I've just driven the old school natural sticks. There's a few nice tricks with stick too for your battery's dead. You can start your vehicle going downhill by popping your clutch. There's a few neat little things that you trade off going automatic, but automatic if you're a very I don't know, not a focused person on your driving, I would much rather have somebody on automatic.
Yeah, that's probably best for me, honestly.
I heard they call them flappy paddles, but I heard they're like a pain to park.
I could see that because you got to keep on like if you're parallel parking, you have to shift between gears again and again and again. Yeah, I could see that being a pain.
Yeah, I on the open road I could drive fine, with the VW stick, right? But once we got into Seattle itself, my friend is just like, I'm taking the wheel.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're not a city driver in this.
I hate driving in cities, dude. It is the worst, dude. Like whenever I go to San Francisco, I have to drive instead of take the train. Oh, it's the worst, man.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I've actually been there once. We just walked because it was so bad.
Right. It's so much better just to walk, man.
Take public transit. Take the BART train in. That's what I usually do. Plus, parking's like an arm and a leg out there.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's
I've been to San Fran twice. Both times I didn't have my car.
Oh, really? That's good. Yeah, it is definitely a not car town. If it's better that way.
Yeah.
Just so much. Not only because there's so much more. I mean, not only is it so much easier, but there's just so much public transportation that it just you don't really need it, honestly.
Yeah.
It is. I will say this: the one place where that weirdo in the smart car has an advantage.
Because it can park sideways. I've seen people do that, honestly. They'll have the car so small that they'll park it the other way, like it's pointing towards the street.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Oh man, it was funny because I've been playing Watch Dogs 2 recently, and they have like little smart cars. They have like a smart car in it, which is like a 2-person smart car, and they also have like a 1-person smart car, which I don't think I've ever seen in real life. Have you guys ever seen anything like that?
I've seen a few.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a 1-person.
Well,
They're just a little bit smaller, but I mean, I get it. I get it. Just drive your little enclosed ATV around. That's fine. But if you're going that size, just get a motorcycle and live some life, breathe some air, risk your face, But then again, you got to learn standard again, and we're back to the same thing. I think they've tried a few different automatic motorcycles, and it just does not work. It's too dangerous to have the machine and the man or woman not connected.
Really?
Yeah, you can be taking a turn and then it shifts on you, and then the wheels move, something pops, you lose your balance, you're roadkill.
Yikes! Yeah, that's the one thing. I've never tried riding a bike like that. I'm too scared, man.
Yeah, mopeds are usually automatic though, but they also don't have the balls, so I think that's
right. You kind of have to trade the. Oh man, yeah, they don't quite go as fast either, do they?
No, not even close. I mean, some come close, I would say. I would say some Vespa, some high end. If you're spending motorcycle money on a moped, you can probably get motorcycle speed, but up to 90 or something. But you won't want to on a moped. Those things aren't designed to go that fast. Vespa, whatever it is.
Probably.
Yeah, they're not a highway vehicle.
Oh man, yeah. Any of you ride bikes before, or?
I've ridden on a bike. I kind of want to get with one of those Can-Am Spider Roadsters, but that's not really a bike. It's like a weird facing bike.
Is it a pocket bike or something, or what?
It has 2 wheels in front and one in back.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like a reverse tricycle almost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're riding out on like the country, because if you're in a place where there's roadkill, what would normally you would drive over, you'd hit with your drive wheel.
Oh, yikes!
I had that problem once where there was one in front of me, and then I saw that there was roadkill coming up, so I backed way off.
You're like, I'm not making that mistake.
So, who here has hit a deer?
Nope. Luckily,
can't say that I have.
I have not hit a deer.
I did, but only because 2 deers charged me at the same time, and I dodged one and ended up just nicking it.
It's like you have to choose which deer am I going to take to
the darn it.
God dang it. Stupid deers.
Yeah.
So did it smash your windshield?
No, it bounced off my bumper. And it did some damage, but it wasn't too bad. And I have a cousin who does body work, and so it wasn't, It cost money, but it wasn't. It was surviving.
I've heard those things can be pretty damaging to cars, honestly.
Oh yeah, they can total a car if they hit it in the right way.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, most of the stories I've heard aren't about deer, but it's actually horses, and a horse will just destroy the hell out of a
horse.
They'll destroy a semi truck, basically,
dude.
if they hit it hard enough.
Yeah,
and it goes up in the right places. I mean, we have elk here, and an elk will a little bit bigger than a deer too, and it'll mess things up. But I haven't heard too many stories around here. We're lucky enough it's spread out. They don't really cross the roads that often.
That's
so we
good.
just get cows, and we get stupid ranchers who basically don't pay attention to their things until something's going wrong. So they're loose on the road or something in the middle of the night, and then that,
Any
your
armadillos?
horse, somebody get in trouble. Armadillos here, no.
Really?
They don't come up this high. This is the high desert up in the mountains. It's they don't have their food as much, and honestly, I don't think they travel that much. They might. I know you see them a lot down south. I haven't ever seen one in person where I am, and I've been down a few places, but we get we get quail. We get I think tarantula season just ended, where they all mate, and then all the males just start walking till they die. So we get a lot of that. Yeah, that's what happens with the desert tarantulas out here. Yeah, they get laid. The lady gets what she's due, and then literally the tarantulas, the males, once that happens, something in their brain triggers, and they just keep walking. They pick a direction, and they just keep walking until they're eaten or killed some other way, or just die of starvation.
They make love, and then their life is complete. And they say, "We can die happy now," and then they just walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, at least that's what they think they're going to do. But that sunset never comes. No, it's a trip though. You'll see armies of them kind of walking across the highway around here, mid-October, things like that. But that's like the closest desert creature we got out here, because we got bighorn sheep, we got bear, cougar. We're mountain up here, so we got that kind of more than the desert stuff. But I mean, we're coated in sagebrush. This is a mesa. There's nothing but sagebrush almost all around us in this valley.
Pretty hot, I take it.
Again, mountains. It saves our ass. I mean, it gets really hot. It gets upper 90s at its worst, and that's like 2 days out of the year.
Not bad,
man. Most of the time it's about 80s.
Yeah,
and
not
then
bad at all.
The winter gets pretty cold, but it doesn't get Alaska cold, so it's not a bad trade-off. It'll get 30, it'll get below 30, it'll hit 0 once in a while, but
you get snow?
Still doesn't get that bad. Oh, we get all kinds of snow. We've got the steepest ski resort in the country, and one of the more famous ones, Tuskegee Valley.
Oh wow. That's one thing I would say about California is I wish there was more snow. I think it snowed a handful of times in my life. It snowed one time in my town in my entire life, and then we usually get a little bit of snow up on Mount Diablo nearby, which is like half an hour away from me. And so sometimes we'll go up there and be able to check out the snow. But other than that, you have to go to places. Not much snow in California. I guess
that's always tripped the hell out of me. People who haven't seen snow. I know, right? From when I was born and where I've grown up, it's always a given for me. I'm always going to have to deal with snow. So that always trips the heck out of me. But it's the same thing. It'd be about 10, 15 years ago. People, would have said, same thing about not seeing the ocean. So I get it. It happens. But still, it's one of those things. You haven't seen snow.
Right, it's just funny the differences in where people grow up, even in the same country. I mean, United States has so many different biodiversity, biodomes and whatnot.
There's so much to this country. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah, it is really cool. It makes a lot of sense why so many people try to come here. I mean, it's a beautiful place, honestly. A lot of great states.
I do always have a quote from Neil Gaiman in American Gods, where he talks about we're essentially the only thing that ties us together as a country is McDonald's, our currency, and the Tonight Show.
I'd ask what year for the Tonight Show, but yeah.
It was. I think he wrote it in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably Leno Tonight Show.
I think American Gods. Pretty sure American Gods was published in the 90s.
Was it really?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, definitely Leno then.
I thought it was 2001 maybe, but maybe I was wrong. Let me see.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I love that book, dude. It's so good.
There's actually 2 different versions of it.
I read I think if I know what you're talking about, are you talking about the anniversary edition?
Yeah, and it's because there was, I don't know, like apparently there was some there was some edited version that he kind of liked a little better, and so when they did the anniversary edition, they recovered it and did some things to it.
I love that
you're right, but you're right that it was 2001.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I remember it was the whole internet thing was just starting.
Yeah.
Because he had the technical boy.
Hmm.
So I love that book. But yeah, the extended edition is interesting too because there's I don't know if you read it or listened to the audiobook.
No.
Oh, you haven't. Well, then actually that's perfect because there's a full cast audiobook of the extended edition.
Okay.
And they did it for the 10th anniversary a couple years ago, and it's so good. Every character has their own actor, and it's so good, dude. I honestly highly recommend. That's my favorite way to consume that book.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely that's a great ride, and the show's been good too. You know, I don't know if anyone's checked out the show yet, but
we saw the first season,
nice.
but then there was a big gap between the seasons, and it started. Right. So it's like we're not gonna keep doing stuff. There's no reason, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that, and they changed showrunners too. I think, and so yeah, it's hard. It's hard when there's so many changes in time between the shows. That kind of happened for me with One Punch Man.
That happened with me for One Punch Man, and it happened from the biggest one was Attack on Titan. I was really into that first season. And then it was like 2.5 years, 3 years when they did the second one. And then I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm not as hyped, but I'll try it. And then all of my taste for the whole thing it wasn't there anymore. So I haven't finished that second season. Just because I started, I was like, oh, well, all these questions, I actually don't care as much as I used to.
That's funny.
Let's try something else.
I'm 100% with Cody on that one.
You
I was so stoked. Everything they did right in that first season. I was that, you know, they present a question and they'd answer it. That actually provides more questions that are interesting and engaging. I was stoked, and then they killed my curiosity with trying to make me be patient.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same.
I think My Hero Academia does a lot better with that because they don't make you wait.
Good. Yeah, and even though I did wait between like season 2 and 3 and 4, like I kind of took my own time getting in between those each one. It was still really good. Like the story kept me still engaged, and I wasn't like Attack on Titan 2. I didn't feel disconnected by the time I got to the next one. You know, there was no disconnect there. I don't know if it's the characters. I really like Neku, or you know, Deku. That's it, Deku, and All Might and all that. I mean, the characters are likable. I think it helps that it's got a silly edge to it too.
It's gonna be silly,
not serious.
So serious.
Like Attack on Titan's like so serious. All this crap's happening, and then you make us wait 2 years,
no humor, really.
And then all the seriousness is kind of lost because you made us wait. If it was serious.
I think My Hero balances it better, you know.
Yeah.
They do have serious stuff, but it's so balanced.
I got a question for Jeremy because I know he's been considering getting into the manga anime scene. Any curiosity still, or?
I've ordered a couple of things that I want to try to work. It's hard to teach my brain to read the other way. I'm just so used to reading comics in a certain way.
I've had a problem lately because I've been switching back and forth. It takes my brain like a good minute to like remember which way I'm reading.
You know what you should do to get into it, Jeremy, is pick up some of the old manga from like the 90s. They used to there used to be a trend when it first started where they would mirror flip the art so that the binding is on our side and it's read from left to right. So you could try something like that maybe.
I wish they still did that, honestly.
They don't do that anymore. Yeah,
there are still some like American style manga produced. That there's that Empowered series by Adam something. You know, and
does Gold Diggers read Western, right?
Yeah, reads Western.
Sure. Yeah, so that's another one. Ninja High School, the Antarctic Press ones.
Yeah, I like it's. Yeah, I don't know. I at some point will have to try to see if I can just retrain myself. But
it's definitely worth it, honestly. And what's cool too is that if you pick up a lot of mainstream manga, say like anything from Viz or anything from maybe well, Viz especially, but others as well. You open up the back of the book and it says, "Wait a second, you're reading it the wrong way. This is the back of the book," and then it has a little image where it says, "Here's how to read it," and it's like, okay, from right to left, here, top to bottom, and you kind of like, okay, I see how they're doing, and then you kind of pick it up over time until it becomes second nature, really.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and at the same time they were still selling Shonen Jumps. So I kind of learned. I learned. Yeah, exactly. I learned it early enough, just so that it's part of my brain now.
Too.
And I just finished the only canonical arc to Battle Angel Alita, and I really hope somebody else reads it because I need to talk to people about it. That canonical end is just fucking gnarly. Yeah,
I know there's 2 other manga. Are those not canon or something?
They're not, apparently. What? Yeah, there's no canonical finish except for at the end of volume. Well, for my collection, it's volume 5.
Volume 5, okay. Oh, that's weird, dude. I had no idea.
It's only about halfway through this collection because then it gives an alternate ending that he did, and then it goes to like Last Order or whatever, where they did what they did to poor oh god, what's his name? Dragon Ball guy, Toriyama did the same thing. They just drug him back in. It's like I don't have any more story to give, really. This is what I wanted for it. No, it's making money. So that's what it is. But yeah, the canonical ending has no kindness. There's nothing like it's she just got through everything, about to go kind of get that happy ending, and then it's just he did not care for his characters. At the end, he's just like, I want this to burn, and he just ended it. And then, so I haven't gotten past that because I'm still trying to like reel with, why did you do it that way? I mean, the last line of the book is, oh, look, there's a tiny chunk of brain.
Really?
It just ends. Yeah. It's brutal.
Totally different genre, but the James Bond novels. You guys ever read those?
No.
I've read a few, yeah.
The character of James Bond in Casino Royale and what he goes through is so different than what comes after.
Really?
Yeah. The spoiler, I'll say that he falls in love in the first one, and it goes very obviously it's Casino Royale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it goes very badly for him, and she dies, and they don't even have anything like redemptive in the book the way they kind of do in the movie. The last line of the book is, the bitch is dead now.
Oh shit!
The first book.
And I don't think he ever intended it to be a series. Well, I don't know, but I don't think he intended it to be a series. But it was successful enough. They're like, well, do another, and he's like, well, let's go in a different direction then.
That's funny, dude. I guess that happens when you don't necessarily think you're going to be super popular with it.
Yeah.
I probably had no. I mean, if you told Ian Fleming, oh yeah, they're still going to be making movies of your stuff like all these years later. Like, I wonder if you could even imagine that.
Probably not.
That's pretty funny.
I think he was around for what a couple of the Connery Bonds, right? I think he even went a little bit further than that.
Nice.
So by that time, he'd be like, "Huh, look at all this money I'm getting. That's kind of neat." As long as they weren't ruining what he was doing, I don't think so. People love those old Bonds. I do. Then I'm sure he wouldn't mind that they're still doing them. I'm just. I haven't heard any talk since they're like, now we're gonna get this black lady to be Bond. I haven't.
That's not real, is it?
She's okay. If it happens,
oh, that's right.
She's not gonna be Bond. She's gonna be the number 007,
which is dumb because Bond is still 007. They said they're gonna be in the movie.
I get though that these are numbers that are used to designate working agents and stuff. So I could kind of understand it, but. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna just give this next one a pass, and if everyone says, "Oh my god, it was way better than we thought," maybe I'll go see it. But there's no presumption I'm gonna go see that movie.
That's where I was too. I was kind of surprised that they went with even 007. There's literally 3 number verifications. You can name her whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Number wise, and then you don't carry the baggage, but they want that baggage. They want people to think, well, this is the new 007, so she's basically James Bond because she has his number. And so is he retired? Does that mean it's no longer a mantle that's passed, which has been kind of one of my favorite theories? I'm very confused with that.
Yeah.
They should have done what they did with the this old game they had was James. It was James Bond. What was the subtitle? It was like I can't remember. It was something like Revenge or Rogue Agent. No, yeah, I think Rogue Agent.
Oh, where it's
like
Goldeneye.
Yeah, or
where it's Goldeneye. It's no. It's the character is Goldeneye. It's not James Bond Goldeneye the game. I'm talking about Rogue Agent. It was Goldeneye. It was 006.
Oh, is that his code name? Okay, yeah, totally. Then you're
yeah. He had one bad eye, and you were working for all the villains, kind of. But you were playing the villains against each other. It would be the ultimate villain. Yeah,
right. That was really interesting.
No, that was great. 006 is in James Bond Goldeneye with Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, really?
And it's probably Bronson's best out of the ones he did as Goldeneye, because Goldeneye's a great character. But he loses his eye in that. I don't think he has. I don't think he gets the eye by the end of it. I don't remember how that works, but yeah, that was a great relationship with 006, because he was the flip. He was a traitor, and you don't get many of those in the James Bond that are actually from MI6. You know.
Yeah,
I like that idea where he's like, and I guess the classifications, the lower your number, the higher up you are on the MI6 ladder. So he was better than Bond, and so they send their next best guy after him.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's got a scene where he's got to like eject with this lady out of a helicopter, because he has to stop the blades somehow, because Goldeneye had set him and then the Bond girl to jump to eject into the spinning helicopter blades. That was just one of the parts I remember real well. But, it's a great franchise. I don't think there's another spy franchise comes pretty close as what Mission Impossible now has pretty much is number 2, I would say.
Yeah.
In some ways, Mission Impossible has overtaken them just because of how good the new ones are.
That's what I've heard too. I haven't caught up on the newer ones.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I saw 2, and that was a trip. Yeah,
you could skip 2 and 3. They're fine. I mean, they're okay, but they're not great. You know.
Yeah, I know 2. I forgot.
No, wait, 3's good.
Or was it Ang Lee who did 2? I'm trying to remember, because it's got the wire foo and that stuff, like them riding 2 crotch rockets at each other and then doing a super bro hug from their crotch rockets.
3 for me was where it got better, and then 4, 5, and 6 have just been incredible.
I've heard a lot of good things from 4, 5, and 6. So I'll have to check those out. I like Tom Cruise as a stuntman and in his science fiction work. Almost always, I love all the science fiction stuff he puts out.
Edge of Tomorrow. No.
Yep. Edge of Tomorrow.
That, right? Yeah. And Oblivion.
Yep. Oblivion. Minority Report.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What was the one that they kept renaming, where he was getting killed over and over?
That was.
That's
yeah.
That's a really fun movie.
That was based off of a manga, allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the manga's name is.
I think it's
All You Need Is Kill.
Oh, All You Need Is Kill. Yeah.
All You Need Is Kill. It is fantastic. I liked it better than the movie.
Really?
And the movie's good. The
movie's
good too.
The movie's good. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but they do such a story-wise, it fits better in the manga sense. But I want to ask Jeremy a question, because I know he teased something comics related recently. If you wanted to elaborate any more on that.
All right. What is the thing?
Huh? Your new comic that didn't you post something about that recently?
There's a lot of I have so I got 14 pages of sketches for Movie Men #2 and from Doug Curtis. I got that in last night. And it's very sketchy, and he did one of the things that for the next issue, I had a hard time, and I realized it was going to be hard to try to Google map this out for him for where to go and what to do. And so I just went with my wife into downtown Bellingham and we took pictures, right? And I then sent him the pictures and said, here's where they start, here's where they end, that kind of thing.
Oh wow.
And because it's still sketchy and whatnot, he just put crop the pictures as he thought he kind of wants to use them, and just put them into the actual framework, and it's great.
Oh man.
I mean, he'll do other things with them once he does the final, but it's really fun, because then you'll see the characters running on the actual streets of Bellingham.
I like that. It gives that personal touch and really makes it feel like it's set in that city.
Yeah, I mean, I almost want to get turn this into an ash can or something, because we took the pictures. So we have the copyright, so it's not a problem of using.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's possible we'll get like an ash can made of this early edition and make that like one of the tiers that people can back.
Would be to get the photos.
Get this early framework, including the photos, cool. And you can kind of see it because it's really cool. Yeah,
you'll have to show us this.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were working on Movie Men too.
Yeah, it's a crossover with Fortman.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that now.
So is that going to be the second issue?
Yeah.
Nice.
I keep thinking Movie Men and Sportmen, not Movie Men 2.
Oh yeah, I mean it follows sequentially from the first one and actually takes up on something that happened at the end of the first one. So, and then I realized that okay, these two together, I think you could easily read them separately, but they form this interlocking complete story for these two issues. And so I teased something on Twitter. I asked people, would you like a combined edition that just has both of these? Or would you like individuals, or would you like both as options? And a lot of people said, offer both. And so that's the thing that I'm considering as well.
It's a smart idea.
That's actually smart. Kind of like I really liked it when Invader Zim, after the season finished, like I bought all the DVDs. And then they came out with this collector's edition that was like the house, and it had an extra thing in there. And they sold a version that was empty except for all the bonus stuff that came with it. So if you already bought the DVDs, you just popped them in there, and then you had the thing.
Exactly. I think I did that too, because I already bought them individually. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually most companies would look at that with the thing, "We'll get them to buy it again."
Exactly.
That's impressive. That's really cool. Did everybody see it in Florpus?
I have not. I'm terrible.
Good. It's so good.
I know.
It's so good. It's exactly what it needed to be, and I was a little worried. And even the new art style it feels like just new life into Zim. I was very impressed.
Oh man, I need to watch that so bad.
It's funny as shit. It's great.
I wish they'd bring the whole show back, man.
I think this was maybe a probe for it, and I don't know. I think it got really good critical reception, but again, it doesn't matter if the numbers, like the cult, might have showed up and watched it, but if that cult wasn't big enough, that following wasn't big enough, then it is what it is. But it was really well done. It was perfect for Zim fan service, and I do hope it did enough. Just like Alita, again, it came out, Battle Age Alita, and people loved it, but it made a lot more than its budget, but it didn't make near $1 billion. So, but with DVD sales, they're trying to push it to make sure that there's a sequel.
I hope so.
And it's been the number one Blu-ray sales this year, and it beat the hell out of everything else because of the fandom. So there's a damn good chance that we're going to get a sequel because of that secondary thing. And I'm hoping Zim could do the same thing. I don't see Vasquez doing much else with his goddamn time.
Seriously, man.
He hasn't done Johnny the Homicidal Maniac forever. He hasn't done a lot of different things. So I was
glad. I remember Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah,
that was some twisted stuff, man.
That's what happens when he doesn't have to work with Nickelodeon. I think just like a lot of people, like the Ren Stimpy creator too, when they have to work with that, sometimes that brings out better quality stuff than when they're left to their own, in my opinion. Some creators are like that. It's very rare, but some creators, if you can actually put them in a box, they actually work a lot better in the box than without it. And I think Vasquez and then the Ren Stimpy guy were that, because they're both a little nuts when left by their own. But the other work then becomes something crazy but still acceptable, and that's the line that's hard to walk.
Yeah,
like even Zim got canceled because they pushed it.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Is he can only sit in that box too long before he gets a little stir crazy.
Exactly, and then you do something weird like having a guy harvest everybody's organs to feel more human. I got 3 spleens.
That's great.
That's so good. Just all fat and hanging in his mouth, and you can see. That was Nickelodeon.
Good times.
Good stuff. Well, I mean, they also did crappy stuff like Butt Ugly Martians and stuff. So I mean, it was that time.
Yeah, like who greenlit the Butt Ugly Martians?
Right? I don't know. Somebody who, I guess the guy who wrote the theme song was also probably the executive producer. He's like, we're getting this song on air. We are the Martians. God damn.
I don't think I ever saw that show.
Good.
It's not very good. It really isn't.
It's considered the worst show that Nickelodeon ever put out.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah, it's not, no.
Not a
There was
classic.
no redeeming quality from the animation, the character designs, the voice acting, the theme song. Everything was, how does this exist? How did they get money? Kids like fart jokes. That's how they got money.
So does anyone else have any comic related news?
There was I think the last run of Jack Irons 2 domestically starting to arrive. I pointed that to you guys, Wicked, just a little bit earlier. We got one more saying, "Oh, look, I got this today." So I think in the last bits coming in, it looks like our double rigid mailer system. This particular person was really impressed and liked it, and it came out good apparently. So that's great. The mailing's working so far.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
And let's see. Did you start international yet?
Yep. We're starting international.
All right. So
we should be getting those soon, I hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm curious. Did you start? Did you hit a bunch of places, or did you just do all Canada, or what was your thing?
So far we did a few Canadas. We did one for New Zealand. I believe there was one for somewhere in the UK. I think.
Yeah, there was a couple in the UK.
Great Britain,
there was,
I think. Couple there, yeah.
Germany had one, and then
I think I maybe did the Germany one as well.
And Australia had one or two.
Oh no, I did Australia as well. I did Germany and Australia both.
There you go. So there you go. All right, so they're on their way all over the place.
They're
shipping
that's great. And I love the company that we're working with. It's stamps.com, but they for internet. And I mentioned this before. I don't know if you were there when I said it, Cody, but USPS no longer offers international mail services, and so stamps.com has replaced what they had as for USPS international with a third-party carrier. And what's nice about that is you send it to the third-party carrier via first-class USPS mail, and they stick another label on it and send it off to the final destination. And so it keeps the costs down. So it's much less expensive than if you went to like FedEx or something like that.
Yeah, if you were strong-armed into no other options. So it's great that they picked up that niche.
It really is,
They must have known that there was a lot of money in it.
I think so.
And just that the USPS has never been profitable. So they can't, no matter how much money they're making, it doesn't matter. They got too much work. They're a public service. So they're like, oh, okay, well, if we could do some public service and make a profit.
Right, exactly, yeah.
No, that's great. That's good to hear. And for future Wicked orders going overseas, that's great. Should help keep international shipping costs a little bit lower.
And we're using the same mailer, so it's and I've shipped to internationally before, so those mailers can withstand the overseas travel.
The only one I'd be worried about, because I keep hearing it from Tank, is if we send anything to South Africa, it might not arrive there for 3-4 months extra, or it might not arrive at all.
Jeez.
No wonder he doesn't back projects.
Well, he backs them for digital, which is so scary. I mean, the physical. Like he bought a mug with one of his character things, and it took like 4 months.
I wonder if they have stamps.com.
And it actually did get there, which was what was impressive. After 4 months, you're pretty sure the thing got stolen. But no, it just got put somewhere, and nobody cared.
I've got some exciting comic news, I guess.
Oh, I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. If you wanted to say, I'll hold the thought.
This isn't quite comic news. It's related. So I wrote a kid's book, and I've been getting. I hired an artist. I've been getting chapter illustrations, but then I'm gonna go and do a recording of it at a friend's recording studio on Monday. And I'm still it'll be a long time before this ever sees the light of day, but I basically want to go to an agent with a package that has a ton of the kids book illustrations and an audio book. So
nice,
that gives them something to shop. Now, I may have to re-record the audio book at some point or get someone else to do it, but it would be a good way of showing that there's a lot more to this than just hey, I wrote something, maybe you want to publish it.
See, that's what I've been hearing they do now with up and coming a lot of the big two comic artists. What they'll do is they'll maybe put them on one lower end book, and then what they'll do is they'll make sure that Image or Dark Horse is allowing them to put out some other series, so that when they go to some movie agent asking, trying to get a show greenlit off of this creator's OGIP, that they can just flood the table with material. Doesn't matter if it's good. It's just that they could flood the table with material, because that's all it takes to impress somebody to get behind it these days. So
yeah,
so
well,
I mean that it's a good strategy is my thing, is to have as much proof of concept as possible to put on somebody's desk.
no, I agree. So, anyways, we're I'm doing what I can for it, and because I would like this to sell, and I think, because I honestly think it's called Princess Sparrow and the Three Gifts, and I think that if it ever actually got a good publisher and distribution, I could sell 1 million copies of it. So, I'm gonna try.
That sounds cool. You wrote that kind of as anticipation of your daughter, right?
Yeah, my daughter's name actually is Sparrow. You're hearing her in the background there.
Okay, very cool.
And what happened was I was at a staff retreat for my previous job, and people were asking me what I was doing, not work related, but other stuff. And I talked about how I was doing some kids comics, and they said, "Great, are there any for girls?" And I said, "No, I got to go write one." And so I went and I sat down, and I realized the thing I was writing, it wasn't a comic, it was a book. And so I just kept writing it, and I think it turned out okay. There's like everyone who's read it, especially the kids, love it. So, let's see if I can get an agent and get a good publisher and sell it.
Right on.
Well, I've got a 4-year-old, so if you want a test reading,
sure, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
We did lose Michael, so I'm assuming we're still streaming, but I have no idea.
It says live.
Cool.
Yeah, we're still streaming. I can see it up on the YouTube. It's up on my computer.
I don't think it'll let us stream indefinitely, but I think we've got at least a few more minutes. So let's plug. I've talked about my. Oh, here he is. He's back.
All right, because
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
What was your? Oh, I was just talking about my kid's book that I'm working on getting, an agent for, so I can get like Scholastic or something. So what was the big announcement you were going to make before you got booted?
Oh, okay. So I've been trying to work with this person for a while. I've been trying to get a colorist that I've really admired to work with for a while, but it's been hard to, because she has a very busy schedule. But I think we finally got it down, and so I'm going to be working on a new comic next month. It's a one-shot spin-off from Endemic, the new series I've been doing, the zombie series. Okay. It's called Taxi of the Dead. And I really love the idea, because it's my take on what if you combine, like, say, like the movie Taxi Driver with Collateral. I don't know if you know that movie with Tom Cruise and Denzel, I think it was. Yeah. But you combine that with zombies. So the basic idea is there's a guy who his job is to taxi people around the apocalypse safely, and get them to their destination. And for that he gets paid in. He gets compensated with, rations and other things he needs to survive, basically. Okay.
So it's like the Transporter meets Day of the Dead?
Kind of, yeah.
Is he going to be that meticulous about his car, too?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, man, especially it's hard to keep your car nice in the apocalypse, man. That's not easy. Yeah, you got to take pride in your work. But so the announcement is we're going to... the normal comic, we work with Raven Monroe from Machi the Lazy Witch. That's the color for on the regular issue. Cool. And but for these special spin-off, we're doing because I wanted to do a different colorist for the spin-off. And I know this is a lot of preamble, but we're finally here. I'm going to be getting to work with the colorist Ellie Wright, which I know you're familiar with, Cody.
God, yeah, I tried hard.
It's hard to track her down. She's hard to.
It's hard to keep her. Because I wanted a full Lucky the Irish on my Four Horsemen pinup. Carl Rowe and Ellie, but it just didn't work out. But I'm happy with the color she got anyway. She's incredible. Why I wanted to work with her is because I saw her Shadow versus the Batman coloring, and that's just so pretty.
Nice.
She does.
Yeah, I loved her work
she
on
does
that
killer work.
and on Sherlock Holmes. She's on the new Dynamite Sherlock Holmes book they just put out.
Nice.
And she did this series Betty Page with I think Dynamite as well, maybe.
Yeah, they
So
have
she's
right.
she's got an incredible background, and I'm just really excited to see what she's going to bring to it. So I'm really happy we finally were able to schedule something together that works for the both of us.
Yeah, me too. Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's why I figured one shot would be good. Something where it's just a one-time thing. It doesn't have to be a long commitment.
Well done.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That'll be cool, and I'm excited for the story. I really love Endemic. I've already planned out the first 10 issues, and it could be a pretty long series. Honestly, it's something I want to keep going for a really long time.
And these are, do you mean issues or do you mean like, because right now, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. They're kind of like mini issues almost, really.
Yeah,
they're about half issues.
12 pages.
Yeah, 10 to 12 pages. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if I ever collect it, like put it out on its own, I'd probably put two mini issues together to make one full issue.
Okay.
Yeah. And that helps me honestly because that keeps my costs down. So since I'm funding out of pocket, I can make more issues if I'm paying less at a time.
Yeah, you can spread it out. It helps.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's my news.
Nice. Good news.
Yeah, thank you.
I've got some Wrath updates.
Nice. What you got for us?
So I just got the way we're working with Emilio is he's doing 5 pages at a time. So I'll get sketches. Once those approved, I'll get line work. And then after the line work, he does all the final like grayscale shading to really make the pages pop. So before today, I had sent sketches for 12 through 16. Yeah, Rage Puppy. So yeah, she knows what that is.
That's good. That's a good sign.
He just sent sketches earlier this week. I got the line art back. So once he does the grayscale shading on that, we'll be 50% done with the page work.
Cool.
So if we keep pace, fingers crossed, we could have digital before the end of the year.
Great, man.
Right.
So you're gonna release the digital first, then?
We'll get that out. Just that seems to be kind of the standard.
I wanted to ask about that. Well, I wanted to because
There's a couple ways.
Well, yeah, because I'm curious about that myself because I've noticed a lot of you guys doing that, but what's the reason behind that? If I might ask.
With me, I kind of want because I'm a little bit of an unknown still. So with me, I can get that to some people that have some influence, like reviewers and stuff, kind of like what Jeremy was able to do with Movie Men and get some more buzz while I'm in demand.
Smart. Yeah, I can see that.
And give people a chance to get on this before we send it to print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told, I've been told by a couple different people, as soon as you have that digital, release it just so that it shows consistent progress, and then right away your backers can look at it. As you know, Mike, we with the first issue, we didn't do that. We did the opposite. We made sure that the domestic #1s were out before we released the digital.
Yeah.
And that didn't make any of a difference. The only difference it made is that my main goal was so that backers who backed more could they get the first chance to read it in their physical book without worries of spoilers. That was my point. Is that the first time they see it, they can look at their book and that's how they experience it.
For my preference,
but I had nobody with issue #2. Yeah, nobody spoiled really anything.
Really?
So
that's good. Yeah.
And the other, the other worry too about releasing your digital early, but it happens with digital unless you built copy protection into it, is piracy, of course. So if you get it out too soon, there's a chance that you could be shooting yourself in the foot. But the chance is so minuscule. If my merch has been pirated before my book, I think most people are going to be okay with their books. So.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation. But I totally agree. If I had my druthers, and this is my personal preference, but no, not casting aspersions on any of the ways you guys do it. But I would like to get if I were doing a campaign, I'd almost want to get the physical out first, because that's how like you said, I want people to read the physical. And so if I don't necessarily I want them to read the digital on their second round. That's for me personally.
Yeah, my experience, it seems not to matter that much. So if you
Yeah,
feel one way
that's
or the
fair.
other, either one's right, I think. So far with what we tried with Jack 1 and 2. That's all I can say is we tried both, and it didn't
And
make
it
much of
works.
a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. At least you've
For-
had experience with that. Yeah.
For me, it's that look, we were pretty close on printing and fulfillment to what we promised, but it was a little late, and I wanted people to get it as soon as they could get it, and I figured, well, why not just send it out to them digitally and say, look, you don't have to read this. If you don't want to, that's fine, but you have it, and the print's coming.
That's true. That's true.
And
Over there.
people seem to appreciate it. So
That's actually a good point. You don't have to read it if that's you don't want to do that. You don't have to.
I think that was the main reason I didn't get anything is because most of the backers just wanted the physical. It didn't matter that we released the digital. They're just we're still waiting for the physical. So I mean, you don't lose the readers who are going to wait for the physical anyway.
Well, that's cool.
But I don't think either way.
And then you can turn it up.
Nice, nice, man. Well, that's good. Yeah.
I think it might change as scale of sales change. Like, if you're selling 10,000 copies of a book and you send your digital out early, I would say your likelihood of getting pirated is a lot higher. Things like that. So I don't know. It might change with scale. It's something to consider as everybody grows. But at this point, I don't think we have. That's one of the mistakes that it's hard to make a mistake with.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. We'll it's just tough out there,
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are trying to take people's stuff and use it for their own gain. It's wrong.
Yep. So it looks like we're up against the hour here.
Just about here. We got about 4 more minutes. Looks like by my count. We started a little bit late today.
I did want to add that I also took the pages that I did have, which was about a third of it, and made kind of a mock-up digital that really kind of showed me how this is really coming together and looking like a real comic. And I was showing it to some real life backers, and they're all excited and on board. And they either like tore through it because it pulled them in, or they were like, "Oh, I want to hold on. I don't want any spoilers. I want to save that for later." So a lot of good reaction. Really liking how it's coming together.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, can't wait to, I think I got to see a little preview of that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I made a little video where I was just kind of swiping through my iPad, showing the pages and how they flow together.
That was so cool. Yeah, it's amazing how it's really coming together. It has such a unique visual style. I feel like it's got a real identity to it.
Yeah, and the new pages I got today, we see the emergence of the Rage Puppy, so I can't wait to see how all that color is gonna pop on the pages when I get that back.
And your artist is really upping his game from the stuff I've seen. It's it's really good to see.
Funny thing, I don't know why I didn't do this when I first started working with him, but I actually Googled him. And he has actually touched the Pro Hemisphere. He did a little bit of work for Vertigo.
Okay.
Nice, man.
So that
awesome,
how fast and his
may rest in power.
It all makes sense now. Like he's been doing this for a while, and he's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I guess Cold Peace had a comment here. He saying giving the digital ahead of the physical is just a great gesture, but most, myself included, don't want to read it, so as not to spoil the experience of the physical. See, that's exactly how I feel, and so I do think it's nice that to be able to have that choice. After you explained it that way, I think it does provide a choice for people. If you want to read it, you can, and if you don't want to read it, you don't have to. So it is nice.
Usually, I'll download the digital and I'll take a little look at it, and once in a while, one of them just hooks me so much that I just read the whole thing. That doesn't usually happen, but it has happened. Like Earthbound, which still isn't out in physical, was delivered to backers early this year, and I just tore through it. It was great.
Nice, man. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the Mythoverse did that to me, each one of them.
Nice.
I was going to check it out just to look, and each one of them hooked me.
Yep.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. But I guess we are getting towards the end here. Oh, sorry. Did you have another comment real quick?
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Go for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's time.
No
worries.
But yeah, so we're gonna transition to our next segment here with the Mythoverse guys. It's been great talking with you. I appreciate you guys coming on. We had a lot of fun talking this morning. And can you guys tell us where we can follow you and if you got any projects you want to plug?
I have too many projects to plug. Just follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Lott Diary, and I'll be plugging my stuff and a lot of other people's as well.
Very nice.
Us, same. Twitter's the best place to find myself and most Ironverse Comics creators. At Cowboy_Steel, all lowercase. Get a hold of me. We just released Jack Irons 2. Hopefully by end of the year, we'll be selling that digitally. And then by next year, we'll be talking with Wikid about reprinting and public reprints. So if people can just go ahead and order the books. And I'm excited for that. I think that's our next step for Jack Irons and Ironverse Comics.
And to explain
I'm
for
excited
people,
for that.
the Jack Irons reprinting is because the Indiegogo ones are exclusive.
That's the big thing. There's only, I believe, what we do. There's about 700 issues between number 1 and number 2. I believe it was 250 and 350.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and so that's it for Indiegogo. So if next time we do that kind of thing, they are exclusive collector's bits. So hopefully I'm trying to make sure that backers can, if they need to, make their money back, and hopefully maybe a little bit more if we provide a quality enough product that people want that kind of stuff. We tried variant covers with Cactus Coyote, but it didn't have the same hype, so we might try that again with a Jack Irons reprint. Unsure, so just keep an eye out, folks, and I'll be letting you know specifically on that Twitter, but I'll be here, so make sure to subscribe to Wikid Publishing's YouTube channel, and I have my own Ironverse Comics. If you guys want to look up on YouTube and sub there, I do weekly updates and AMAs basically almost all week. So
nice.
That's nice. About it for me.
You put out a lot of content on there, man. Good job with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's content.
That's funny. And Scott, what about you? Where can people follow you online?
Best place is probably Twitter right now. I do have an Instagram too, but I haven't been keeping up with that. I should get on that this weekend.
Yeah, I know the feeling,
Wrath is plugging along with production. Like I said, we're almost 50%, and we're still in demand on Indiegogo. So if you want to jump in there and get a copy before we go to print, we're that window's quickly closing as Emilio's tearing through his work here.
Once it's done, is that when the store ends then?
So we'll have digital like we were talking about, and then after we get the proofs back and we go to print is probably when I close it and we get the final number of what we're sending off to the printer.
Yeah, makes sense. Keep it open and make sure you get as many people as possible. Yeah. Nice, man. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Anyone playing Death Stranding this weekend?
No.
Just me. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I picked up Total War Warhammer 2 after forever. So
okay.
I put about 10 hours of that in the last couple of days. So
if you're really enjoying it.
I love myself some Warhammer.
So that's what Warhammer, man.
I'll be hanging out with my puppy, and then I'll probably hit that for a little bit. Might stream it, so that channel I was talking about to sub to, Ironverse Comics, it might have some content come.
Nice, go check that out later. People are watching. You might be streaming some stuff here with that little pup. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks again. It looks like we're gonna bring in the Mythoverse guys now, but I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. You guys take care.
All right, take care, folks.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Matt.
Welcome. How are you doing?
All right. Sam.
I think we're going to be joined by Jupiter Ripple here in a minute.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we'll be jumping in a second here. But how are you guys doing? It's been a few weeks since we last talked, I guess.
Or a week, because we had that meeting.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's early last week. Oh, man, it feels like so far away from me for some reason. Wow. No spoilers. Are you talking about Death Stranding spoilers? I won't spoil it. I promise. I'm only like an hour in. What's that, Brett?
I'm not playing Death Stranding. I have no gets to play Death Stranding, so I don't care if you spoil it.
Casper Bernesh, I think, does care. But no, I picked it up last night. I wanted to play it all day, but I was too busy all day, so I didn't get to play it until very late last night. But it is so weird. The game is beautiful. It's gorgeous, and the gameplay is actually really interesting and fun. But it's so bizarre. Oh, are these spoilers?
It's a Hideo Kojima game, so.
Right. I mean, it's literally Hideo Unleashed. It's Kojima Unleashed, man, and I love it. I love every second of it. So I'm probably gonna play some more after we get off here. Because that game's good. But enough of me going on fanboying about Death Stranding. Give us some updates. What's going on with you guys?
Well, right now we're just waiting for the approved copies to come back.
Right, yeah. Those should be coming in next week. I was just talking to the printer. He was downloading the files and said he was going to be taking a look at them. So yeah, it should be good to go for next week, unless something comes up, which I'll let you know. But right now we're good to go on that. And we have, again, barring any setbacks, we're set for a November 22nd date. So we should be able to start shipping soon after that. So just another couple weeks here, really.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of. It's later than we initially planned, but it's not as bad as it could have been.
Right, and I think this being your first campaign working with our printer, now you guys have a much better idea of the feel of how it works on the ground floor. You can factor that in next time to your campaign, I think, better.
I would say so. I think we kind of got what I like to call the first timer pass.
And a non-professional pass too, because we don't have the same experience as they do with meeting deadlines.
Well, that's the thing. It's just more thing. It's like we made mistakes that you would expect first timers to make.
What do you mean exactly? You said that we would make.
Well, stuff like we're missing missing the deadline just by a little bit and taking a little longer and trying to work out the kinks of the printer. Like that is stuff you would expect a newbie to make.
True, and it's that's why I think people can be a little forgiving with that stuff.
Yeah, where you lose them is when you ghost them for about a year on end.
Well, it's not only that, but he's not a newbie. If we're referring to,
I'm just going to change this subject. Move the subject along because we don't want to go that route.
Also true. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
To be fair, not every professional is like that, because I have backed some campaigns with professionals running them, and they do hit the campaign deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aside from that, I did find some old Mythics outlines that I might turn into stories.
Nice.
That's always promising.
What?
That's always promising. Which reminds me, I've also got I've got Ginger and Victor working on some pre-production stuff for the second issue that I think is going to help make the process a lot quicker too.
Nice. I hope that the format guide we gave you guys helps as well. Has anyone had the chance to pass it along to their artist yet?
Come again?
Has anyone been able to pass that along to their artist yet?
If you're talking about the template, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got the. Oh, stop playing with that.
Kitty.
Sorry.
No,
yes.
kitty.
But yeah, where was I? I passed the template off to both Victor and Ginger, but we've got it saved in the Mythoverse Google Drive. So even if if one of them's missing something, we'll just hand it back. We'll just get it to them anyway.
Okay.
So
nice.
So yeah, as things are standing, we seem like we're pretty prepared.
Nice, man. Well, that's pretty awesome.
One thing that makes us more trustworthy in the eyes of our backers is that we got our digitals out before physicals because it tells them that we've got the books done. It's just that we're waiting on the printers.
Right, exactly. Which I think, people appreciate that. We talked out a little bit about that in the last segment, where people want to have the option if they want to read it or not. I think having that option is really nice.
Yeah.
There's
a lot. Yeah, there actually are a lot of scammers out there who will just take your money and leave.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. We don't need to get into the nitty gritties of it, but it suffice to say that it does happen.
Yep.
And it is unfortunate when it happens. So, but so that's why we building a great track record like we have at Wikid with many successful campaigns already. I think it builds confidence. People know that they can trust it if it's backed by Wikid.
Although,
what do you mean? Although,
well, we have to make sure we keep up that record.
Well, yeah, that's true. You got it. You can't just stay on. You can't just get complacent. You got to make sure you're always on top of your game.
Yeah. I think Brian, actually, I think Brian told me something to the effect of, "It's not done. You're not done till you get through the first arc."
The first arc. We're definitely into this training arc. I think we're at that or the tournament arc. I can't tell yet. That's a bad joke.
Until we're done the story.
Fair enough. I know. I was making a bad joke.
Yeah, I was ignoring
Clearly, it was a bad joke. Oh, okay. I just thought you didn't hear it, so I was going to repeat it again loudly.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't do that so that you didn't embarrass yourself again.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to embarrass myself many times before this day's over. That's just the name of the game, baby. See, yeah, there you go again. But I did want to say real quick, on a kind of a side note, I'm kind of proud of this. I got retweeted by Jason DeMarco this morning.
Awesome.
How cool is that? I was like, I woke up because I posted late last night on the Wikid page a YouTube video they put out where Toonami and Production IG goes to a Shinto shrine to do a ceremony, and so I didn't even tag anyone. I just wrote it and put it out, and then this morning I woke up with him retweeting it. It has like 100 likes on it. I was like, what? Wait, what? I how did that happen? How did he even see it? But so that was kind of cool. The video is actually pretty good. If you guys want to check it out, it's up on the Wikid Twitter page. It was pretty interesting. Apparently, that's a pretty common practice they do is for horror productions in Japan is they bless it so it doesn't get cursed because I guess they're very, and maybe it's a little bit superstitious. I mean, obviously they're very religious, but
yeah, not so much religious as spiritual.
Right, spiritual. Yeah, that's a better word for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because from what I hear, a lot of Japanese people, they kind of go through all the Shinto rituals and stuff just more because it's tradition, not because they actually believe it.
Interesting. I could see that honestly. Yeah, it's a cool tradition. The shrines are so cool. They're beautiful places. I've gotten to go to a few in my time, and they're really cool. But yeah, so that's my side note. I was talking to you guys earlier. I got new stuff coming out from Endemic. We're working on the second issue right now, and then we have a spin-off issue coming out in I think January maybe, called Taxi of the Dead.
Yes,
I heard about that. Yeah, and then issue 3, of course, and 4 onward. But I just came up with my main antagonist last night after watching Psychopaths. Some more Psychopaths. But how about you guys? You guys making? I know you said you're making good progress on the next. Or yeah, you said something about working on the next issue of Changeling, right?
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, like I said, it's pre-production stuff to help make the process easier. But Matt, Dan, and I were still kind of bouncing ideas off each other, figuring out ways that we can increase our productivity because we don't want to be stuck in this pattern where all we're doing where all we can get out is like a single issue a year.
Right, I can understand that. Yeah,
like that is like even with us trying to keep the machine going on social media, it's not going to mean much if we're not finding a way to crank this stuff out faster.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And part of that, I think, is eventually trying to become ways to be able to continue the comic without having to rely on crowdfunding every time. I think that'll be a big part of sustainability as well.
Yeah, yeah, kind of might happen maybe down the line, but
I think so.
Like to get to the. No, I mean, like I know, I think so too. What I want, at least for me, what would be ideal is that I'm completely depending on the sales from the books to sustain it.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't need to rely on Kickstarter. Don't need to rely on Indiegogo. Don't even need to rely on Patreon. Just the books pay for themselves.
That'd be freaking awesome, man.
Well,
we got to get. That'll be after probably we build up our distribution big enough.
Yeah,
even we probably should do something along the lines of a Kickstarter Indiegogo for trade paperbacks.
Possible.
Yeah. We'd have to have like completed arcs for that to work, wouldn't we?
Yeah, Sporkman, kind of how Sporkman, or I'm not sorry, Sporkman. Sporkman. That's kind of like Sporkman did it with Sporkman Goes to Japan. They had the trade paperback.
I thought they wrote it as one whole piece.
Well, it was actually initially written as 3 separate issues, and so it came out. They actually have one of the options on their campaign was you could get either the floppies or the trade paperback, and so they had 2 different versions of it, which is an interesting idea. But I don't know. They may have written it all as one. I don't know if they wrote it, at the same time. But certainly they gave up people options to pick it up as 3, which
Yeah,
it's an interesting idea.
Answer that.
What's that?
I was gonna say Checker Eric could probably answer that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think they're gonna be on today's episode, but yeah, I remember. I think we haven't printed it yet, but it'll be our first Wikid trade paperback. Which is kind of cool.
Which would be amazing.
Yeah, and now that we know that they look great because of the magazine, which we've been sending out to customers these last couple weeks.
Speaking of which, one of the guys in our Discord actually said he got his copy of it.
Oh, good. Did he say? What did he say?
He said it was good.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
He liked what he saw.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Yeah, because I had to ship those out with media mail, and so I'm not surprised that they're starting to get them in now. Media mail's it's good. It's a little slow. It's 2 to 9 days is the typical turnaround time. But it allows you to save costs in certain ways. If the package becomes too heavy, then first class mail just isn't really viable.
Nope.
So. But that's why I love stamps.com. It makes it so easy to figure all this stuff out, and you can put in the address, the weight, the dimensions, and then you get a list of all the different class deliveries and the pricing, and it's great. Honestly, I highly recommend it. But moving away from comics, what have you guys been doing? Have you guys had much time to spend on your hobbies or anything like that?
Really? Not really. It's like it's either work or just working on the Mythoverse right now. And now we're getting ready for Black Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. We appreciate your service.
Well, I've been playing a bit of Valtech just to go into just to talk about the tabletop turn PC game that Cody I started.
Oh, you started it too, huh?
Well, no, Valtech is different from Warhammer. but it's all about giant robots.
I see. It's a similar genre.
Well, the difference is there's no demons, there's no psychers. It's like, I think BattleTech has its foot more in hard sci-fi than.
Hey.
Yep.
Whereas Warhammer's more sci-fi fantasy.
Sorry.
There's no aliens too.
Hold on.
Get rid of the
Okay.
dog, Matt.
I'm dog sitting right now.
Oh, what?
My sister is out of town today, and so I'm at her house dog sitting.
Well, after about a year of playing, I'm finally able to max out the stats on my pilots.
Jeez.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That must have taken. Sounds like it took forever.
About a year.
Jeez. And now, what does that give you? Do you get like something special ability or something?
Super elite mech warriors.
So you get the best mechs.
No, the best pilots.
Okay.
I thought the clans had the best mechs.
That's subjective.
Like,
Damn fighting words.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I remember hearing from some of my friends who played BattleTech that the problem with the clans is that they were massively overpowered.
Well, yeah, but in the lore, they were balanced by the fact that they were from they're based in a distant star system. So, because they're idiots, they aren't able to replace the units lost as quickly as they could.
Oops. Let's see. Oh, I think Jupiter got the wrong link. She got the link to the YouTube. We need to give her the StreamYard link.
Yeah, it should be right there.
Yeah, it's in the.
No, she was asking for the share.
I don't think so. Oh, so it can share. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Okay, sorry, my bad. But yeah, you always been into mech stuff, man.
Yep.
Is that your favorite like sci-fi genre? Would you say like specifically the mech genre?
Not really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's cool and all, and I might be slipping into the Asian stereotype for it, but
Matt's Asian? No way.
I thought Trin was a normal Anglo-Saxon name.
Sounds that checks out to me. Yeah.
yeah.
So
and also to talk about to just take away the myth of clan superiority. They did their mechs are so good that they lost at the Battle of Tuckhead.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, what happened was that their invasion was stopped by a group of pseudo-mystical space wizards who used advanced technology for the Aerosphere from an era back when, before all the big wars destroyed everything. So,
sounds interesting.
Technological level, they were on an even playing ground. Thing is that clans are really stupid, and their whole theory to war is one-on-one combat and bidding down to the lowest level.
How's that bad?
And if they're losing, you know how to destroy their just completely eradicate them? Challenge them, because they're stupid enough to think I hold honor above all in war. Even if they're out of ammunition, they'll still turn and fight if you challenge them.
That's interesting. It's kind of I guess based out of pride or something.
It's based more on their culture,
Mm.
and it's a good way of writing honor as a weakness. Because if you have a culture that's based in honor, they're not going to pull away from it. And if they've got if they're so insulated like the clans were, they'll think that everyone will fight like they do. While their promotions are based on who can outfight the other, it really doesn't matter much if you're fighting against someone who doesn't agree with what you do, how you do things.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. We guess we need to hire Matt as our military strategist.
Hey
It
guys.
looks like we're joined by Jupiter. Hello.
Hey, Jupiter.
Hi.
Welcome.
Sorry I'm so late.
No worries.
How are you guys today?
Good.
We're good.
That's
How are you?
great. I'm good. It's a little cold over here, but I'm good.
Really? Oh, geez.
I'm sitting here in like a hat and like a hoodie, and I'm
Oh my
freezing.
God.
It's
Jeez.
like 30 degrees over here. Ugh.
Is that East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so it's even colder up there.
Hey, look, Raven's in
Really?
the chat.
Hey, Raven.
Oh, hey, Raven. How's it going?
Hello.
So that's cool. So what are you up to this weekend?
Nothing much. I'm actually designing a character with Ari.
Nice.
This weekend.
Is she part, or is he or she part of the Star Ring?
Yes.
Series?
Yes. But not in this story arc that's coming out in a couple weeks. This is a little later.
Nice.
But we're trying to be, a little bit more prepared than underprepared. So we're doing all of that. And that's pretty much it. Just kind of hanging out. It's a little cold to kind of go out for a walk or something. But
So
my husband. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you please go ahead.
I said my husband and I usually will go out and we'll fly like drones and stuff.
Whoa.
I should say we've been trying to go out and get that done, but
that's cool.
Yeah, we haven't.
I've always wanted a drone, dude.
Yeah, my husband works on drones.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Sort of. He's a mechanic, so he's an instructor,
nice.
pilot. He does all that cool stuff. So
wow.
That's a hobby too. So it's kind of cool. And
yeah, that is cool.
And we've been trying to go out for so long, and it's just like every time I try to go, like we end up.
The weather's not great for it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll turn around. You guys can get out and do some drone stuff.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun.
They have cameras on it, I take it.
Yeah, we have a Mavic, and we have a Spark, which are more of the nicer ones.
Nice.
All of them are pretty nice. I mean, my husband's had the plastic ones, he's had the foam ones, the metal ones, all different kinds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he makes videos and stuff. The one time we did it for a farm, like that's down over here, a dairy farm, and they like kind of wanted like a view from their landscapes like high up. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I like it. It seems like it'd really be cool to film stuff with it, and just to be able to get such like cool aerial shots,
Exactly, especially like when you're on vacation and stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
You could like remember them moments like really awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember I was on a vacation once, since someone had brought a drone, and they were it was like a guided tour we were on, and they had their drone with them. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Well, that's nice. And any new updates with Star Ring at this time?
No. At the moment, no.
Okay.
Pretty much the same. Just kind of getting ready for the
issue.
The issue coming out at the end of this month. It's looking pretty good art wise. Just been.
Oh yeah, I think I just saw a new page. Didn't you just preview a new page recently? For the Wikid people.
Yeah, I did. We did.
That was such a good page.
Yeah, it was. I really
Oh my
loved
god.
it too. And
Uh,
this chapter is so focused on Nico and Willow. So we're kind of seeing it from each chapter is going to be kind of like seen from a different character's perspective, their thoughts, their process throughout the story. And this one's solely focused on Nico and Willow. But
so are they not just? So is it more of an ensemble than as opposed to them being the two main characters?
well, we have what I like to call two main and two supporting through the entire journey.
Nice.
Mainly, the main characters are Nico and Bane, but Willow and Ekron play just as much of an important role. So I just kind of say the four of them are, because each story arc we're seeing it through all of their eyes. And one of the things
that's awesome.
Yeah, and one of the things I like to do when I write is I really like to make sure every character has a purpose in the story and plot in some way, or is related to a character with a story and plot in some way. So you kind of see it from all different angles.
That's cool. Yeah, you seem like you really enjoyed the process of storytelling.
I really do. I really do. I love to get lost into that zone, and like sometimes I get frustrated because sometimes you just can't, like, no matter how hard you try, some days you're just not writing, and it's like one of the things you have to accept, I guess. But when you really get into that mindset, I'll sit there for hours, just kind of writing.
Wow. I think Matt's kind of like the same way too, aren't you, Matt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Relate to that.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I don't even realize the hours I've spent. The one time I wrote a chapter from 2 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following day, and I was actually a friend of mine was helping me write it at the time, and he was waiting for me that entire time to kind of go through it. And it was like, he's like, you know how many hours have passed?
Jeez. Hey, sometimes you just gotta keep writing, you know?
Exactly. And I told my friend that was helping me co-write, his name's Kevin, and I told him, I said, oh my gosh, I said, this chapter has to be the chapter. It has to be the best chapter. And I wasn't stopping until I got it at least to what I felt in my eyes was the best. So.
Nice. Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that you're having a good weekend despite the cold. That's good to hear.
It is. It's been real nice.
We were just chatting a little earlier, talking about our comic updates and whatnot, and kind of going through that stuff. And I was, we have the magazine out. I don't know if I guess none of you guys have gotten to see it yet, have you?
Nope.
No, not yet.
I'll have to send you guys copies. We had to get new mailers because the mailers that we have for the comics aren't big enough for the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really actually glad to hear, Brett, that the guy who got the magazine that said it was good, because what I had to do is I had to undo the rigid mailer, like take it apart, and then kind of wrap it around the magazine and tape that up, and then put that inside of a larger rigid mailer envelope, so that it wouldn't get damaged. So it's kind of a makeshift thing there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm glad it worked out.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Exactly, but now we got new rigid mailer envelopes that are about an inch long, bigger on each side, and so that should help. I'm hoping.
Awesome.
But so I mean, a lot of good stuff coming out from Wikid right now. We have let's see, we have Canada Bear #1, Decimators Volume 4, and Barrels #2 all coming out in December. And then we have the Mythoverse guys coming out for then that will be starting to deliver to backers.
Oh, yay!
And Michael, have you actually stopped and counted how many titles we picked up?
Not really. Have you? Maybe you did the work for me.
I kind of did a rough estimate in my head, and I think it's like close to a dozen.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. And there's even some that we haven't announced yet.
Well, we got we got the We got the 3 Mythoverse titles. We got Jack Irons, that's 4. Movie Men is 5. Barrels and Project R is 7. Sporkman Goes to Japan is 8. Star Ring, I think, makes 9.
We have Machi.
Yeah, Machi makes 10.
You counted Canada Bear, right?
Canada Bear makes 11, and
and then Charger. I'm not sure you mentioned Charger.
Charger, yeah, that's a dozen type. Oh, and Rat, that's about 13.
It's hard.
13
It's
is such an awesome number too.
it's the luckiest number
13
ever.
and Wikid's been active for like what, a year now?
I think about 2 years, almost 2 years now. I'd say probably. We started, I think, in 2017, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you remember the?
Or no, 2018. We started December 2017 is when we put out Project R. November 2017 we put out Project R, and we started our company. And then in January we got together with Cody and expanded it into Wikid Publishing to what it is today. So about from 2018 to now. The beginning of 2018 to now, so almost 2 years.
And Wikid started with manga, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, it was me and Matt's manga that we put up. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Matt. It's our passion project. It's sci-fi with ancient Rome and action, and it's going to be something that's going to be around for as long as Wikid's around. Basically, it's our It's not a flagship title, but it's a staple title for us because we've planned this series out for probably at least 100 issues, if not more.
Yeah.
We spent about 6 months just planning before we even picked up a pen to paper at all. So it's definitely something we really love, and it's really awesome to work on it. So hopefully issue 3 will be coming out soon.
It's just so exciting to get lost into the worlds that you create.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, just hours could go by and you're you're still just sitting there like, oh wow.
It's true, it's so fun. Once you land on something that you really love, and you can just take you so many different places, and you're just like in your head, imagining all these amazing things.
Exactly. It's like, oh no, I must return to the real world now.
Right, exactly. Comics are a great way to
13 titles in 2 years.
That's just
pretty
awesome.
incredible. Yeah, and not only that, but we have a few that are under wraps that are still being developed. There's an all ages title that's being developed by a creator that we haven't talked to anyone about yet, and a couple other things too. So there's even kind of other projects being worked on. So yeah, it's a great amount, and I think it'll be good to be able to put those on the tables next year at conventions and stuff.
Oh, definitely.
What's the next convention Wikid is attending?
I think it's Emerald City Comic Con, but don't quote me on that.
Oh, up in Seattle! Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to check though. There might be some local stuff here we'll do before then.
The Emerald City Comic Con is up in Seattle, which is like an hour north of where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm out in Washington. But Michael actually approached me about going to Emerald City Comic Con. I would go. The only issue is I don't know if I'll have the time, but things might be able to work out. We'll see.
Yeah. I would
that would be nice.
A convention that you guys are at someday. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I know that would be amazing especially to be able to get to go to some of the East Coast conventions over there. I think would be pretty big.
See, I think the conventions over there are a little better from what I've seen. But I mean, a convention.
The East Coast, you mean?
No, over on the West Coast.
Really?
Yeah, like Anime Expo is really fun. If we're talking about anime conventions, but I
would love to do that. Go to Anime Expo.
That's been to Youmacon. That's out in Detroit, and that's actually pretty good, right?
Yep.
A friend of mine actually, she's really big into cosplaying and all of that, and she actually just went to that convention, and it looked really fun. Some of the videos that I've seen were really neat. So it was nice to see those. I really love the cosplay and when people get real into it.
Yeah, there's some cool cosplay.
I don't know
stuff.
if any of you guys are familiar with Demon Slayer at all.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I am. I saw it the first season.
Yeah, that convention Brett mentioned just a minute ago, they actually had like a skit of Nezuko.
Yeah.
Wait, Matt, did that actually happen at Youmacon?
Yeah, it was just kind of kind of just fans, I guess. There's a couple people that go to conventions with cameras and they just kind of record the overall experience and put them on YouTube. At least I knew a person like that, and I actually seen the Nezuko skit on his video.
I have to imagine if you're going to cosplay as Nezuko, it's going to have to include the bamboo gag, and that can't be comfortable to have in your mouth.
Oh, she had it all too. It was really cool to see. It was spot on.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like if you're gonna have that in your mouth the whole time. I mean, like that's not. I can't imagine that's comfortable.
No.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cosplay that probably aren't very comfortable. Giant weapons, giant everything.
Giant weapons are easy enough.
Matt.
You can make them out of a light.
I mean, they're yes, but at the same time, you still have to carry that around all day.
Yeah,
it's gonna get old.
They're more bulk than it's more the bulk than the head.
Right. Yeah, the bulk. That's right. Yeah, that's totally right. Yeah, it's like the awkward trying to how do I fit this in this tight hallway without smacking someone in the face?
Or like how do I get this in the elevator?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's when you start walking up the stairs because there's no getting in.
I've been trying to get to a convention for a while, and I need to go soon because I need to have that fun.
It is fun, yeah.
It's so.
What's the con scene like out in Virginia anyway?
I think probably the convention that would probably be the biggest would be in Richmond somewhere or Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, I notice a couple of friends of mine in the local area, they'll go up to DC a lot for conventions too. Because DC is only like 3 hours from here. And me and my husband, we go up frequently to DC because I like DC.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I've been there once.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like to get a hotel out in DC. It's like it's literally the most expensive area of the country to live in.
It is, and it's like when we go up there, I mean, we always like think it's going to be an easy drive, but it never is. It never is. As soon as you hit that area, it's just gridlocked. But that's probably like the only place on the East Coast that's like that besides like New York.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. DC's cool though. I mean, I've been one time when I was a little younger, and you have the Great Mall and all the landmarks and monuments and the Aeronautics Museum, and there's just so much fun stuff to do there. As a tourist, for sure.
Yeah.
I was doing the more touristy stuff,
I went out west once, and it was just. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it's there's lots of love about all the all the areas of this country.
Really
we were kind of talking about that earlier in the first segment as well.
And it just reminded
me. That's funny.
I would think though, like the big dream would be for Wikid to be able to host its own convention.
Oh, I know, right? I'm thinking 10 years from now.
Maybe
we'll have the first one. It took Rooster Teeth about 10 years for the first convention to pop up.
No, actually, I think that was 9 years, 8 or 9 years.
Okay, but close to 10.
How did it take PAX to get off the ground?
Can you mute yourself? Okay, thank you.
Oh, no.
Oh God, that was horrifying. Did you hear that, Matt?
Yeah, yep. I heard it.
Okay, yeah, that was terrifying.
It scared me too.
It's Brett's microphone getting hacked.
Oh God. He didn't visit a Shinto shrine. He didn't get blessed. He's been cursed now. Oh boy, well hopefully he can get that fixed. We have about another 15 minutes or so before we'll be wrapping up today. Sorry you came in late, Jupiter. I hope that's okay with you. We.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
It's
all good.
I was literally just about to get on, and my phone started. I'm like, oh, of course. But,
oh God! In the
I'm
chat,
excited for the live stream later too.
Right? Yeah, we have that tonight. We actually should mention that tonight. Jupiter, I, myself, and Brett. Matt B, Mother Wikid co-founder. We're going to be having a Wikid creator interview with Jupiter, talking about starring.
Yay!
So that should be exciting. We're all prepared today to come in and ask you some interesting questions, and I think people are going to really like what they hear from you. I have a good feeling that you, because I talked to you a little bit about it, so I know you're coming from a really great place with the creation of it. So I just can't wait for people to hear all that, all the stuff that you're so passionate about. Yeah.
I could talk about it all day.
Exactly. And we'll definitely give you that chance.
Thank you.
By the way, I just checked. First Penny Arcade Expo was in 2004, and since Penny Arcade started in '98, they were active for about 4 years.
Really? That's actually really fast to turnaround time.
I mean, you'd be surprised at how fast things can go.
Oh yeah,
it's true, but it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's like 1 minute, like you're in one position, and then the next minute you're somewhere further out.
Yeah, it's totally true. But one thing I want to take precaution is listening to the I'm a big fan of Rooster Teeth, and I listen to their podcast a lot. So I like to hear, because they give a lot of good advice about how they ran the company and how they gotten so successful. And when they started their first convention, they didn't realize how hard it was going to be and how much would go wrong. And so they learned a lot from that first one. But there's all these things like the Fire Festival, and you hear these horror stories. So you definitely want to make sure, if you're going to do something like that, you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
And not rushing into it.
Also, make certain that there's air conditioning at the convention.
Yeah, that too. I think that happened at the first RT convention. Second one,
they didn't have they didn't have a convention center for the first one.
It
was like a giant picnic.
I will say,
that's funny.
One of my coworkers was actually at the first Penny Arcade Expo, and he said there was like less than 100 people who showed up to that.
That's wild, huh? But yeah, the Wikid convention, the Wikid, what would it be called? The Wikid convention or the Wikid publishing con?
I've been floating around.
Wikid
I've been
con.
floating with I've been floating with Wikid Expo.
Wikid Expo, Wikid con.
That's pretty cool.
Wikid. Yeah, something like that would be pretty dope, actually. Yeah. WX or WC.
I would personally avoid anything with the initials WC, but that's just me.
Ooh, damn, son, throwing shade. No, that's fair advice.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, like, you had Rooster Teeth and Penny Arcade. They where they started, and now they got conventions in like
other countries. Yeah.
Both Penny Arcade PAX and RTX operate in multiple countries now, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's an RTX down in Australia, I think.
Australia and London.
That's crazy, man.
And PAX, I think. Let me see how many Penny Arcade Expos there are. Because there's
that's an interesting idea,
Yeah, I mean, like, it's held annually in like Seattle, Philadelphia, San Antonio, and Australia too.
Nice. Looks like
Australia.
Ari Bloodberry says Wikid Expo sounds rad.
Yeah.
Hey.
I guess we should say that's Jupiter's artist there in the chat.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I now Ari. You said it. Is it Ari or Ari?
It's Ari.
Ari. So I noticed that it looks like Ari's working on multiple mangas. Is that right?
Yeah, she is. She's working on a couple.
Wow.
She's busy.
Yeah, seriously. That's wild.
She's busy.
I saw a tweet from her the other day
I'm pretty
about
sure
that.
One of them got posted just yesterday. I think
that's the one I think I saw when she was kind of asking people to support her and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's looks cool, man. Honestly, that page looked really nice.
what I love about it is how she could like switch. She could switch from like she has like her own space and style, and then you see how others have it set up, and it's like so drastically different. Like, but it's still all the same time. It's like so unique and the same.
Right. It's kind of be able to keep a lot of the thematic and aesthetic elements while also being able to change up the style a little bit to match the story.
When we first started, it was more set up like, you know, a comic would be. And I really wanted it more like a manga feel. And I couldn't have done it without her, honestly, to keep that traditional way. So that was really awesome.
I think this is going to be the first Wikid manga that's read right to left.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow. It took me such a long time to get used to that when I started reading manga years ago. And then I got stuck in that mode too.
Really?
And then when I would go read something normally, I would start reading it right to left instead of left to right. It took me forever to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, it's funny. Jeremy, we were talking with Jeremy earlier, and he was saying he can't do it for some reason. He's tried, but it's hard for him to get into the manga of style because of that. But yeah, we with Project R and I think with Changeling as well, we both elected to take it the more traditional American way, which is the left or right, obviously.
Right.
But I'm super excited. We're gonna be using paper that's like more manga style, so it won't be glossy. It'll be matte.
I was gonna mention about printing in February, which I'm excited for because I think so. I'm pretty excited to see it printed because it looks really good digitally. I can imagine what it will look like on paper. So.
Oh, it's gonna look so good. It's gonna look great, and I honestly think if we get that, they all look great. But I'm particularly interested to see how this one turns out in print because of the fact that we're going to be using manga paper. Manga paper is a very textured quality, and something I love about manga in print that you don't get in digital is that on digital you have the white backgrounds, but in print those white backgrounds also have this texture to them because of the paper, and so everything just has this beautiful just quality to it. I love print manga so much.
Like manga illustrations, it's just like the shine.
Yeah.
Fury does with the shine on the page. It's like it's one of my favorite things. I think that kind of makes it differentiate from other styled comics. Like it just has like the shine. I that's what I just call it, the shine. I don't know what else to call it.
That's a good way to put it. That's funny. What do you guys think? Do you guys end up manga very much?
I'm not. Yeah. I think I haven't kept up with manga lately.
Really? I try to stay up on it, because I think there's, I don't know, kind of like she was saying, I just think the aesthetic is so cool,
Mm-hmm.
There are some that I can definitely get into, but some that I can't, simply because of, well, I'm no prude, but if there's too much fan service, I usually clock out of that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fan service isn't for everyone.
No, something that we do when we do, I guess you would say, fan services. We like to call it wholesome fan service. It's just kind of like this, just once in a while, okay. But when it's kind of over the top, I kind of have to agree. I hate when the shows focus on the fan service so much more than the plot. That kind of drives me crazy. But like wholesome fan service doesn't bother me. So
Fairy Tales has a really bad habit of doing excessive fan service unfortunately.
Which one was that?
Fairy Tale, the show Fairy Tale.
Thinking that
they do a lot of fan service, and it's very female oriented. Generally speaking,
I remember there was one video Funimation posted on YouTube. I think it was a promo video for one of the Fairy Tale movies, and the thumbnail had Lucy and something that was kind of pretty skimpy. And so, just to be a smartass, I typed in the comments, "Hey Lucy, I'm sick of looking at your rack."
Yeah, it's like it's gotten so bad that like in the latest season there was a character. There's been characters where like they blow off all of Lucy's clothes and now she's covering herself up. Or there literally was a character just recently whose power is to make people collapse by sending them too much pleasure. And so you're having all these characters like moaning and stuff. It's like, oh boy, this is something else.
I mean, they kind of do that. They do that in Food Wars, but that's just because the guy who made it had a background in drawing hentai. Also, the joke is that the food is just that good.
Well, it's also a comedy too.
Yeah, no, that's like
Fairy Tail's not joking when they're using their first fan service.
Like I said, in Food Wars, it gets very fan servicey, but that's the joke because the food is supposed to be so good it brings you to orgasm or something.
One of the things that I am a huge fan of Hiro Mashima. Like I love Hiro Mashima, and another one of my favorites is actually Hajime Isayama. But Hiro Mashima with the fan service, he does get over the top, especially in the fairy tale. The other one that's in like the fairy tale universe.
Heroes.
Eden Zero and then Rave
Eden
Master.
Zero.
Yeah, and it's just when Fairy Tail started, it was so good. It was actually one of my biggest inspirations when I first started writing stories.
Really?
And then it just turned into what it is now, and it just was never like that at first.
Yeah, it definitely got away from its initial intentions, I think.
Yeah.
As the time went on. But yeah, fan service is a tough one.
There was something funny. I remember seeing up on Twitter the other day. I think someone posted a screen cap from an article about how fans of this, what was it? It was either a sexy manga or art book. They were surprised to find out the artist was a woman.
There was a similar scenario in Inuyasha, and it was like this big backstory to it that I thought was pretty cool. I guess it was like Takahashi started the character as like a female and then decided, no, I want this character to be male with female appearances. Hey, fair enough.
To each his own, I suppose. Every dog gets its day.
One of Takahashi's earliest jobs was with the movie adaptation of Guyver, and boy, was that have a different tone, because at one point one of the female characters activates the Guyver unit, it blows off her clothes and tentacles start wrapping her. And
of course they do.
You can imagine what kind of scene that was. Where those tentacles were going. So yeah,
I'd rather not, honestly. I'd rather leave that for better minds than mine.
Well, Rumiko Takahashi's art style is tied to that movie now.
Yeah, Inuyasha is seriously just so special to me. Like, I love it.
I love Inuyasha. I grew up watching Inuyasha on Adult Swim.
You and Dan would have a lot to talk about. He loves Rumiko Takahashi's work.
Nice.
I love it. It was another one of my biggest inspirations.
Yeah, I love stuff like Rama the Half.
Oh yeah, Rama 1/2. I read that too when I was growing up in manga, though. I didn't watch the anime. That was one of the because when I was young, I got a shonen. Someone gave me a Shonen Jump when I think I was 12, and so then I just got super into manga, and so I read like Ranma, Dragon Ball, all of the classics back in the day. Such good memories, man.
Now I'm watching the complete opposite of what I write.
Yeah, really.
Because I feel like when I'm watching anime in the genre that I'm writing, I kind of just get overwhelmed, and I'm like, oh. No.
You don't want to necessarily be influenced by it, I guess, huh?
Not so much like not be influenced by it. I just think it's just too much in one, because I'm sitting, like I said earlier, sitting for hours writing like a shonen inspired genre, and then I go to watch it and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I've been watching real kind kind of just slice of life. Like the quintessential quintuplets is one of my favorites right now. But I'm so behind, and I just haven't had the time to read it. But I really need to catch up though because they're ending the series soon. I really don't.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my big one right now is Psychopath season 3 just started on Amazon. And I freaking love Psychopaths. Has any of you guys seen that one?
A friend of mine actually just was telling me about Psychopaths.
You should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite sci-fis.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the first season, but I don't think I have ever finished it.
The first season is considered the best, I think, by a lot of people. But basically, the premise is like it's a world where people's emotional status is monitored at all times, and if it rises above a certain number, like say 160, you can be stunned, or it goes above 300, you could be lethally killed. And so the society judges people on these crimes, and they're called latent criminals, I guess is what they call them. And so it's kind of like a little bit like Minority Report that way, but it turns out there's a guy who's committing crime. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a really interesting mystery plot behind it, and it's really well done. It's I'm surprised Matt hasn't seen it, honestly.
I guess I need to watch this now because
You do. It's on Funimation, so if you have Funimation, you can check out all the episodes.
I got Crunchyroll.
They have it on Crunchyroll, I think, as well. I think they have the sub on. They should have the sub version on Crunchyroll.
Another good place to watch some anime lately has been Hulu. They got
really?
Some good ones too. Yeah,
really?
they have like they have like this whole big section. I was actually just last night watching Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, nice.
And
that's another good show.
Really cool. But the thing with these streaming places is like whatever is available to you changes by region, which I never knew.
What is that now?
Like when you're say on Netflix, like I have a couple friends in the Netherlands, and they have told me they're like, oh well, I don't have like I was watching Friends for example, and they're like, oh I don't have Friends on my Netflix.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, that works so weird. And I think the one time my friend was watching the Avatar Last Airbender, and I didn't have it. So like changes by which country you're in, which is really weird.
You know what's an interesting trick to get around that is and I actually just did this the other day because Amazon had forgotten to upload the subtitles for the 3rd episode of Psychopaths season 3, and so but for some reason the UK version had the subtitles, and so I got a virtual private network and made it look like it was in the UK, and then went on to the Amazon UK website, Amazon, and signed in with my US account, and it let me watch it no problem.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually.
That is cool. I would have never even thought about doing that.
Yeah, it's like a little quick workaround to get when you can, if you want. I think probably you could do the same thing with Netflix, but you might need a Netflix account for the other countries. The only thing.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know if it would work. Yeah, I don't know. But we have in the chat. Someone says, any Flame of Recca or Yu Yu Hakusho fans?
I used to watch Yu Yu Hakusho back in the day. One of the people on our Discord is actually a huge Yu Yu Hakusho fan.
Oh, really? Yeah, that was a good one. That was on Toonami back in the day.
It was one of the Adult Swim launch titles.
Oh, no.
Really?
No, I remember Yu Yu Hakusho promos being run on the Toonami block.
Yeah, I thought it was on Toonami myself.
Well, Adult Swim Saturday night.
Well, there also was like kind of a weird kind of period where they couldn't decide whether something went on Toonami or Adult Swim for a while too.
Yep.
One of the one that's on Toonami right now, Dr. Stone is.
Oh, nice.
I love it.
It's so good, right?
It's just so good. It's so.
So, are you watching the dub then?
Yeah, I'm.
Nice.
I'm watching. I tend to watch a lot of both, really, dub and sub. I used to primarily only watch dub, but I've entered into the world of sub, and so.
Yeah, it's kind of I am too. I'll usually go with dub if I can, but if I need to, I'll go with sub. I'm just not as good at reading. Like I'm kind of slow with the reading, so it's hard to pay attention to the art at the same time.
Right. One of the series I just watched in sub that I loved was actually Orange.
Oh God, that was such a good show. Oh my God,
so good. And
I love that show, dude.
The manga is even better. Like
really,
it's so good. It's so good. I mean, I sobbed the entire
I
time.
did too. It really did, honestly.
It was good.
It's
I went on Amazon and I got like the whole entire manga in one whole book. And I just have not had the time to actually sit and read it, but I cannot wait until I can. Right now, I'm reading Angels of Death, so that one is one of my absolute favorites of all time.
Right, you mentioned that for the Wicked Watch party we did. You kind of mentioned that one. So that's something you've been checking out.
And I had such technical difficulties that night, and I was kind of upset I couldn't stay when we did that. But Angels of Death is really good. It's based off a video game that started as just kind of like a desktop game on Steam, and then it turned into a manga, and then it turned into the anime. Like all
Wow.
the versions are so different and so addicting, and I love everything.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And that one's on Crunchyroll, right?
It's on Funimation. It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, nice.
Dub, sub.
Very nice.
The manga is even better though.
And is the manga released here officially, or do you have to kind of go online and find it?
I found mine just that I didn't go into like Barnes and Noble. I couldn't find it in there, but I did find it at like a Second and Charles or like a Books a Million. I don't know.
Okay, nice.
But it's a really good series, and they're actually continuing the manga. Like it's going on even after what happened in the events of the original.
In the anime.
Yeah, in the original concept.
Yeah, I like that when hey, I like it when the mangas go on past the anime.
Yeah.
It's like you get extra story, you know.
I'm more of a manga reader, honestly. I just get so engulfed in it when I'm reading it versus anime. Like I feel like I get way too distracted.
Oh, really? That's funny. Are you the kind of person who does multitask while watching anime? Can do that?
Yeah, like I just use background noise.
I can't do that. Like if I'm watching anime, like my eyes are glued to the screen. Like,
watching. Like if I'm watching Inuyasha, like I'm glued to the screen. It doesn't matter how.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
So it depends on the show, maybe.
Yeah, I just love that early 2000s anime vibe.
You're like freaking Matt, dude. Matt's all about the old school anime, the 2090s, even in 70s too. Even
favorite sci-fi manga. Oh, hi, Kevin. That's my friend Kevin there. Real life.
Oh, nice. He says favorite sci-fi manga or animes. Well, I obviously said mine earlier with Psychopaths.
Steins Gate's good. Steins Gate.
Was it? Oh, Steins Gate? Yeah, people love Steins Gate. I need to finish that. I only watched like the first episode.
I'm like not so much into like the sci-fi, but I love like the psychological, like Angels of Death or like Death Note.
Death Note is that was my longtime favorite for a very long time.
It is. It's my husband's too. My husband.
It's so good.
L on his arm eating a.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Death Note's great.
Death Note in this house too. L is just one of my favorite characters of all time. It's just like if perfection existed, there he is.
Oh, I know, it's so great. Have you ever read the light novel for Death Note?
Oh no, I haven't.
I highly recommend it. They have, I think Dark Horse or someone put it out, but it's a prequel to the series, and it's you get more backstory on L and some of the other characters.
Oh man,
it's really good.
You're like talking about all this because last night I was going on Hulu, and like I said, I was looking at the featured dub, and I seen Death Note, and I was really contemplating watching it and reading it again. So
nice.
Like no one can, like it's still like the number one best anime. Like.
And have you watched have you read the manga for it then, or?
Yeah, I did. I got when I first started getting into the series, I was a little late. Me and my husband were a little later on the bandwagon than most people because when we were younger, it was on. I think it was on Toonami.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Can anyone confirm? Either of you guys confirm that? I don't think I was watching it back then.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Bleach. I don't know. Either one.
I know Bleach was on there for sure, but I wouldn't doubt if Death Note was on there too. To be honest.
But,
yeah, Death Note was on there.
I was a little late, to getting into the series. We both were. So I started off getting just like the black editions of the manga, the ones with like the black cover. That looked like the actual Death Note. Those were pretty cool.
Oh, they're like a special edition?
Yeah, they were like the special edition. Like I didn't even know that it had like an original edition. They always do that to me when I get into series. I always end up picking up the.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, seriously, I've been getting the Gantz Omnibus editions. They've been putting out. I love the Omnibus stuff they do.
Yeah, and so like I just ended up saying the heck with it and ordered the whole big manga on Amazon. It's
nice.
The biggest book I
have. The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Jesus. How's that even possible?
I'll have to send you.
It's got to be so thick. It's got to be incredible.
It is, and it's like, you know what really sucked? I couldn't finish it because I just couldn't hold it in my hands. Like I think it was just.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Honestly,
oh, that's
so
funny.
I have to get all of the manga again. So.
That's a good excuse, right?
Yeah, that is a good excuse.
I actually have a Death Note that I picked up. I can't remember what website I picked it up from, but it's an actual replication of the Death Note. And so it's got every single rule, and there's like 40 or 50 pages of rules. It's a fun read, honestly, just going in and seeing all how it all works in the nitty gritty. And then of course it's got notebook pages so you can write yourself. And one of my favorite parts is it's got all the names that were written throughout the series.
Yeah.
So in just how they're written, so Ray Penber's name is scrawled like crazily across the paper, and all these little details are just. So it's just a fun little memorabilia piece I have.
Have that stuff.
One year I went to ASEN. They had the manga, the creator of Trigun there, and the scroll in front of me, waiting for I had him write his name in the Death Note for an autograph, and he just looked there point blank and goes, "You're trying to kill me, aren't you?"
Nah. Oh, that's hilarious. I have kind of a similar story based on that one. I brought that over to my friend's house, and he took a pen and wrote my name in the back of the book for 2032. So we'll see, man. We still got a few years left. We'll find out one day, I guess.
Everything about
it's 2032. Then you've got about, if I'm doing the math right, you've got about 12.
Yeah, I can do that. That's not so bad. I just gotta do a lot until then. But hey, if someone if someone else writes my name in their Death Note, it'll cancel it out. So that's all you need to do.
I mean, everything about Death Note is just so perfect. The art.
I know.
It's all so awesome.
And the manga has a epilogue that the anime doesn't cover, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could probably gush about anime and manga all day, I think. Right, but I guess we're getting kind of towards the end of this time here, so we should probably start wrapping up.
Okay.
Unless is there any other topics you guys wanted to go over? Any other anime? You guys watching?
Not really. I mean, not really. Although,
I'm just over here still waiting for Titan. Attack on Titan. Next year.
Oh yeah, is it the final season? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off.
Oh my god, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's not caught up with season 3, but let me just say it was crazy and amazing.
It was.
Our
you say it was confusing?
Our artist from Mythic, Chibi's Antonella, she's a huge Attack on Titan fan.
Oh, I know. I love all the stuff that she puts out from there.
I am obsessed.
Yeah, she's posted a lot of Attack on Titan fan art.
Mm-hmm. It's all really good too. It looks almost just like the anime, which is it's incredible.
The mangaka of Attack on Titan, Hajime Isayama, I thought it was real cool. He actually just put out a fan art of Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail, and
that is cool. Awesome. Really? Oh yeah. Man, nice. That's a fun one.
It was really awesome to see that. I wish
What's that?
I wish they would print it because it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like print it.
That's cool.
I would totally have bought it.
Yeah. Maybe you have to get a custom print or something, right?
I got so upset because Wit Studio, they put out just the illustrations from the anime onto paper, and they all signed it, and it was only a couple of them, and I literally could have gotten it, and something sidetracked me that day, and I.
Oh no! I hate that. That kind of stuff has happened to me where you're gonna get it and then it sells out or something, and you missed your chance.
Yeah.
I was gonna get a signed Alan Moore book.
I don't know if you're.
And I missed out.
Watches Attack on Titan, but I want to know or reads Attack on Titan. But what I want to know is how the heck do they think they're going to squeeze all of this information in one?
I think the only way they could do is if it's another 26 episode season. They'll have to split it up into two halves. They'll do like air the first half first, and then wait 6 months, and then air that second half. I think that would probably be the best.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait to obsess over it like I just did recently with the second half of season.
I know, right? Season 3 was one of my favorites. I think season 3 is my favorite, actually. Yeah, I have to say.
A good friend of mine got me into Attack on Titan. I will forever thank her.
It's a good show, and a lot of good shows on Toonami right now. If you guys aren't watching Toonami, I got One Punch Man season 2, Demon Slayer. What is the other one that just? Oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind just started recently.
Part 5 is just easier to say.
Part 5, yes. And all the other stuff. So
I actually might
time to be anime.
Yeah. I actually might have gotten Antonella into watching JoJo because I showed her a clip of Kira from Part 4.
Oh, nice.
Asked her, okay, do you get psychopath vibes off this guy? And she said I'd have to watch the whole thing, but 90%.
Yeah, I'm watching Part 4 right now, and he's a great character, honestly. Yeah. And the dub actor they got for him is so perfect. Oh my god, he is so creepy and calculating. It's honestly great show. I think it's one of my favorite shows just because you're guaranteed to have something crazy and weird happen, and it's just so much fun to watch it all unfold.
For sure.
Yeah, but
another good thing, on Toonami right now is Fire Force too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Fire Force. Yeah, that's right.
I personally couldn't get into it, but a lot of my friends like it, and I think the art style is pretty cool.
I need to catch up on it. I only watched the first episode, and I didn't necessarily hook me with the first one, but I've heard a lot of great things about it.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, I know. I love Toonami. It's such a great way to get anime, and anime in general is just so much more accessible now with Funimation, Crunchyroll, High Dive, Amazon, Hulu. I mean, there's so many people doing it now. It's a good time.
About, like, Rooster Teeth's start, and then it got me to thinking about Crunchyroll, the way that they started too. They started off super small.
That's true, and weren't they like a pirating thing first before they became legit?
I have issues with Crunchyroll on an ethical basis.
Really?
Well, forget the fact that they started out as a piracy website. What I've also got issues with them is that allegedly they've embezzled some of their funds.
Well, allegedly.
I think I saw a Japanese artist.
Yeah.
Are you there, Brad? Or I mean, I can't say to whether they've embezzled. Obviously, if it hasn't been confirmed or yet, then at this point it's just speculation. But I will say, when I went to Crunchyroll Expo, I think it was last year, the year before, I can't remember his name. That bald guy who's like runs stuff at Crunchyroll. I feel bad for not remembering his name, but he's like one of the top guys. He was talking about how like I think they said they've given like some crazy amount of, like I want to say he said like $1 million back to the industry or something. It was over all the years that they've been in operation. It was something incredible like that, like this huge number. So I think Crunchyroll is doing a service. They're giving money back to the creators, and I think that's important. But yeah, I mean, you got to be able to. I think it's important to be able to. If you love something, you should try and support it the best way you can. Brad, are you back? I think his mic died. But anyway, we're near the end of our time, so maybe you can get back in here by the time we finish our plugs. But why don't you guys tell us where people can find you online, and if you want to plug any projects you got going on, please do.
Okay.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. *_ring_manga. We're going to be coming out at the end of this month Yay! With the first episode.
Nice.
Which will be the first volume when printed. So I'm real excited to see it printed.
Where will that be available?
Well, we started with the webtoon and manga rock, so they will be there.
Nice.
Just this, but we're hoping to get with you guys so we could get that episode printed.
Definitely, yeah. So if you want to check out the preview, or you essentially check out the first issue and see what it's all about digitally, you'll be able to do that on Manga Rock as well as Webtoons.
Yeah.
And then look for our print edition coming early next year as well. And then from then on, I think we're going to go with more of an exclusive run, and we'll keep posting the first episode up there for people to check out on Webtoon and Manga Rock, and then continue the print run from there and the digital as well.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm looking to hopefully start the campaign come March. Gonna be starting that. That would be our first ever campaign.
So exciting.
It's exciting.
I bet, yeah. Yeah, but we got a lot of great people surrounding you to help you out. So
yeah.
I think I know you guys are gonna make your goal. Obviously, I don't know what goal you guys set, but whatever it is, I'm pretty confident in that you guys can make it. You guys got a great product here. You guys putting out great story. So yeah.
And Scott helped me a lot with trying to understand like Indiegogo and all of that too. So I kind of have a better understanding of the website and everything. So that's
very nice.
What I'm gonna be going with.
Very cool.
I gotta get with my artists who are here, who are awesome. Thank you. To kind of get that all planned out and going. Still got a lot to do though before that. A lot of other cool artwork and everything that I'm excited for. So
nice. And then we also tonight have our stream together. We have an interview, which I'm gonna plug the link to right now. Mm-hmm. And that's our Wikid Creator interview tonight with Jupiter Ripple. We're going to be talking with her about starring manga and just all her inspirations and all the different cool ins and outs of how she got started with her artists and all that great stuff. So a lot of cool stuff to look forward to tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Yeah, me too. Matt and I are, we when we first saw your book, we really fell in love with it, and so it's gonna be really fun to dive into that and explore some more of that.
Thank you so much, and it really. We really worked really hard on it, and we're really excited to get it out there and get people to see Ari's art and my writing and all of that too. So we're excited.
Very nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And Matt, where can people follow you online? And what do you got going on?
You can follow me at Matt Tran on Twitter. Right now, we're working on getting me, Dan, and Brett are working on getting the Infoverse physicals out. And you can follow them for Dan, it's at Dan Zakaro, _ between Dan and Zakaro. And at Celtic Brett for Brett, of course.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I
know you were
here. Yes, he is alive. My goodness.
Hey.
I kind of have a suspicion that Crunchyroll doesn't want me talking shit about them.
They totally DM'd you or DM'd you, man. Jeez.
Why are there so many advertisements every 5 minutes?
It's the Crunchyroll army, man. They're everywhere. They're always and I thought Funimation. Sturgo said. Oh. So I was just gonna say, Funimation says, what is it? Watch us or something like that. With Crunchyroll, it's watch you. But what were you gonna say, Jupiter?
Oh, I was just they want to con you into that premium pass.
It's all part of their game.
Over and over on the free version.
Oh, that's funny. Jeez, they know their stuff. They're definitely good at the game they play.
For sure.
But hey, I can't. I'm a sucker. I got them all. I got like Crunchyroll and Funimation, and I had High Dive for a while, but I don't know. Anyone try out High Dive?
I have it, and I have not even used it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt. Like I had it for a really long time, but I didn't really ever use it because I don't know. They don't have a huge wide selection, honestly.
No.
They could work on that. I think.
I watched Donna Joe on High Dive.
Which one?
Domestic Girlfriend. I watched on High Dive.
Yeah, there's a new one out that I kind of wanted to see. What was it? It's I can't even remember now. I guess it didn't matter that much. But it's funny. Cody says in the chat, in Soviet Union, anime watches you.
Very much.
That's a good one. Nice. And then I think we had Brett's up there. Yep. So we're all good to go on that front. So I guess we're pretty much at the end of our time here. What do you guys got going on for the rest of the day?
I gotta go. I have to go to work.
Oh man, work for you too, Matt.
No, just gonna be hanging out. It's football day in my house, so.
Oh wow, football day.
That's
fun. What team are you guys rooting for?
I don't even know. That's all my husband.
You're there for emotional support.
Probably Penn State or the Colts.
Okay. Very nice.
That I know for sure.
And you're gonna just probably draw or something while he does that again.
No.
Oh right. I mean, sorry. Right.
I'll probably be writing most likely.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Anytime I have downtime,
I know it seems like I feel that's why I said like same thing with Matt because like whenever I'm talking to Matt, like what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna go do some writing. You guys are very prolific, which I respect a lot. I don't have the tenacity necessarily to do that all the time.
I'm just kind of like one of the people who's all over the place, so I'm constantly trying to find a quiet balance. And that's my quiet balance.
Makes sense, yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Well, I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go check out some more Death Stranding since I've been playing that last night. I'll let you know how weird it is, because it's weird. I've already seen some things that I can't understand, or can't unsee for that matter. But I appreciate you guys joining in, and thanks for everyone who watched in the chat. I appreciate it, you coming, and we'll see you guys next time. And also check out our interview tonight with Jupiter as we talk more about Starring, and that's at 7 p.m. Pacific time and 10 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, definitely check it out. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Take care, everyone.
Later.
Yeah, I did that again, Matt. Yeah. I think you're the only one who realized that I did that again.
What?
Oh, we're still on the podcast. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. Now this is the real ending. Goodbye. Oh, and then he's gone. I guess I'm by myself, talking to myself like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. I find myself in this situation a lot. All right, guys. We'll see you next time, and thanks for jumping in, and have a great rest of your wicked weekend. Talk to you later.